We spend our entire lives running away from the only thing that is guaranteed. We treat death as a tragedy to be ignored, a shadow to be avoided, or a dark end that we hope to push as far into the future as possible. We live as if we have 10,000 years to spare. But the Stoics, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, saw death differently. They didn't see it as a reason for despair, but as the ultimate lens for clarity. They practiced Memento Mori, the constant reminder that you are mortal. To the Stoic, remembering death is not morbid. It is a radical act of liberation. When you realize that you could leave life right now, the trivialities that consume your days begin to evaporate. The petty arguments, the social media vanity, the anxiety over what strangers think of you, all of it loses its power in the face of your mortality. Death is the filter that separates the essential from the meaningless. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world as Emperor of Rome, wrote to himself in his private journals, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He didn't say this to be depressed, he said it to be present. He knew that when we forget we are mortal, we become reckless with our time. We postpone our kindness, we delay our courage, and we wait for a perfect moment to live that may never arrive. The core of Memento Mori is the realization that time is your only non-renewable resource. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose your reputation and rebuild it. But every second that passes is gone forever. By keeping death in view, you stop being a spendthrift with your soul. You start to ask the only question that matters. If this were my last day, would I be doing this? Would I be worrying about this? This philosophy leads to the practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It is the exercise of imagining the loss of everything you hold dear, not to suffer in advance, but to appreciate what you have while you have it. When you realize that your loved ones, your health, and your possessions are merely on loan from the universe, you stop taking them for granted. You hug your children a little tighter. You appreciate the breath in your lungs. You find joy in the mundane because you know it is temporary. Seneca warned us that we are dying every day. Every hour that passes belongs to death already. Most of us are waiting to live, projecting our happiness into a future that isn't promised. Memento Mori pulls you back into the now. It forces you to realize that the good life isn't something you achieve in 10 years, it is something you practice in this very moment through your character and your choices. When you embrace your mortality, fear begins to lose its grip. Most of our fears are just shadows of the fear of death. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of change. These are all rooted in a fragile ego trying to preserve itself. But when you accept that the ego itself is temporary, you gain a terrifyingly beautiful freedom. You become capable of taking risks. You become capable of speaking the truth. You become capable of living with an intensity that most people will never know. Death does not make life pointless. It is the very thing that gives life its point. A song is beautiful because it ends. A story is meaningful because it has a final chapter. Without the boundary of death, life would be a blurred, indefinite sequence of events with no urgency and no stakes. Death is the frame that makes the painting of your life visible. Stop living as if you are a permanent fixture of this world. You are a guest. You are a brief flash of consciousness in a vast, ancient universe. Use the reality of death to fuel the quality of your life. Do not wait for a crisis to start being the person you were meant to be. Look at the clock. Listen to your heartbeat. Every tick is a reminder that your time is narrowing. Do not be afraid of the end. Be afraid of never truly beginning. Remember that you are mortal, and let that realization turn you into a person of unshakable character, profound gratitude, and radical presence. Memento Mori. Remember you must die. Now, finally, start to live.